Listen. When I made that video about, like the video right after the game, when I talked about Colorado being too one-dimensional, Prime is saying the same thing during the press conference. I kid you not. I didn't even listen. I didn't hear him. When I made that video, I did not know what Prime was going to say. They haven't even gotten to the press conference yet. I made my video right after the game was over because I was so frustrated. They're one-dimensional. If your quarterback is getting battered and beat down, it's hard for a quarterback to get sacked if you're running the ball. Run the damn ball, Sean Lewis. Run the ball, Sean. I don't get it. Run the ball. And then the one thing I disagree with Prime, he said that we have a hard time running the ball. No, you don't. You don't even commit to it. If you try a couple of runs and you're unsuccessful, you don't stop trying to run. Okay, what about pass plays? What about if you throw a couple of pass plays consistently? Let's say you do 3 pass plays and you're unsuccessful. Do you stop trying to pass? No. It doesn't stop Sean Lewis from continuing to call plays after play after play that's all pass plays. Shedeur can get sacked 2-3 times in a row, and guess what Sean Lewis is going to do? He's going to go right back to the playbook and call another damn pass play. So Coach Prime, I do not agree with you when you say that we can't run the ball. No, you guys can. Your coach, your offensive coordinator is choosing not to run the ball. He thinks that he can just speed his way through the game. No. Dylan Edwards should not even be running between the tackles. He's too tiny. Alton McCaskill is your guy. That's your bell cow back. There's a difference in offensive scheme when you're talking about blocking. Pass blocking and run blocking are 2 different aspects of football. It's done differently. You have certain teams that are good in pass protection but horrible in run blocking. I believe with the combination of Colorado having great running backs and their offensive line being not that great in terms of pass blocking, but I've seen the offensive line do a decent job in run blocking. But we don't ever get to see it because Colorado doesn't commit enough to it. They don't even have a huge sample size for you to say, hey, it worked or it didn't work. You can't run the ball 2 or 3 times in one game and say, it didn't work. Are you serious? We need a larger sample size to make a definitive conclusion to say for sure that this did not work. That's not the way you play football. That is not the way you play football. Coach Prime, if you don't want your son to continue to take these hits, then you should go to your offensive coordinator like yesterday and tell him and say, hey, look, we have to convert from being a pass team to a run team first, and then we operate our pass play off the run. Because right now you guys are passing too much and then trying to run off the pass, which is so counterintuitive and moronic if you ask me. Why? Because the offensive line is not the greatest in terms of pass blocking. And then when you're playing against a team that's known for rushing the passer and getting sacks, you might want to try to establish the damn running game to get the pressure off your quarterback. So when your quarterback drops back to pass, he can do what? He can do a play action and beat the team over the top. It's really that simple, guys. It didn't take rocket scientists. But for some reason, I don't know. That's why I continue to say this. They're either trying to pad Shedeur's stats or Sean Lewis has an agenda. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but he has an agenda. His agenda, I don't mean that his agenda is to ruin Prime. His agenda must be to prove and show how great of an offensive passive mind he is. Because remember, every offensive coordinator is working. They're trying to solidify themselves for the future. They're basically using every opportunity that they have as offensive coordinators. It's almost like they are auditioning for their next job. And I don't think that Sean Lewis's heart and mind and soul is with Coach Prime, and that's why he needs to go. Just like when people blame the offensive coordinator for Dallas last year for why they unraveled and why Dak threw so many picks. They said that Coach Moore, the offensive coordinator, was putting the ball in Dak's hands too much, calling all of these exotic pass plays and putting Dak in a position that would cause him to throw picks. And they said Moore was doing this because he was auditioning for a head coaching job, trying to show out how great of an offensive mind he is. I think something like that is happening with Sean Lewis, because this is like the fourth press conference that Coach Prime has hinted at the idea that we need to do a better job of mixing things up. He's saying this, but the offensive coordinator is doing the same damn thing. I'm telling you, if Shedeur continues to take hits like this, he's not going to make it through the season. And it's going to impact him next season if he decides to return. If Coach Prime wants to see his son standing upright at the end of the season, they need to switch their whole philosophy of football. They need to be a majority. This is the way I look at it. You guys aren't scoring a ton of points anyway. You guys are losing consecutive games. Why not just, so you know what? Let's just scratch the plan. What I believe that's what the offensive coordinator Sean Lewis is doing. He's trying to put his own imprint on the team. So in effect, rather than looking at his personnel and coaching to his personnel, he's bringing in his philosophy and trying to insert that or push that upon the team. What the team shows me now is that you guys cannot be a passing team. You know what passing teams have? They have great to excellent offensive line play. Offensive line play is off the charts. For teams that pass a lot, they can sit back in the pocket and rip you apart because they know that you're not going to get to our quarterback. Our quarterback is going to have at minimum 3 seconds to scan the field. Shedeur doesn't have that luxury. So if Shedeur doesn't have that luxury, why the hell? Explain to me, Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator for Colorado. Explain to me why the hell you continue to pass the ball. They can sit. The DBs for UCLA can sit on those short passes and just wait and tackle. That's why most of those passes that Shedeur was doing, people say, oh no, the short pass game is their run game. No. A run game has much more impact on the game than short passes does. I'll give you an example. A short pass for 2 yards is a short pass for 2 yards. The defensive line doesn't feel it. They don't feel the physicality. But if Alton McCaskill runs for 2 yards, there's banging that's going on in the trenches. So as you continue to run the ball, you can wear down the defensive line. And as you continue to run at them, it gives those twins and that number 15, Liatu Matu, whatever his name is, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, it gives those guys the ability to kind of say, hey, we can't just pin our ears back at the quarterback. We have to be mindful of the run. We don't want to get gashed. That's the missing element in Sean Lewis's repertoire and his playbook. He has a bunch of pass plays, and he has a bunch of short passing routes that he throws, and he uses those as a means to gain a couple of yards, and then people say, well, that's part of their run game. Their run game is embedded in their pass game. No, passing is passing and running is running. Let's not try to be cute here and convolute the two and say, oh, for some reason, if I pass the ball and a quick hitch pass and Dylan Edwards runs for 3 yards, that's the same thing as a 3-yard run. No, the impact of a 3-yard run is much more different than an impact of a 3-yard pass or a 1-yard pass that gains 3 yards. It's different because the defensive line isn't getting hit in the mouth. You got to run at them. To beat the beast, you have to attack the beast. You have to attack the mouth of the beast. And what I see Colorado doing, they're playing on the outskirts. They're trying to play around the edges without going straight in the middle. If you look at the Georgias of the world and the Michigans, what do they have? They have strong offensive line play. And they're able to prove it because of the type of play calling that's devised and that's designed. But when you're a finesse team with below average offensive line play, in terms of pass blocking, then of course you're going to get beat. Your quarterback is going to get pummeled. And that's what we see occurring. It's just crazy that I just heard Coach Prime say what I just said. We're too one-dimensional. He even knows that. Look, man, I'm going to go out and say this. I don't think Sean Lewis is going to be there next year. I don't think he's going to be there next year. Charles, I think what's the defensive coordinator's name? Is it Charles? Charles, is his name Charles Lewis too? Is his last name Lewis as well? I don't know, but the defensive coordinator for Colorado, he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job with what he has. I like what the defense was doing, but the offense is letting us down. It's letting Colorado down. They're too predictable. Too predictable. I know you're gonna run. I know you're gonna run. I mean, I know you're gonna pass. I know you're gonna pass. I know you're gonna pass. And then they try one or two runs that doesn't gain much yardage, and then all of a sudden they're saying to themselves, well, the run's not working. No, Prime, the run would work if your offensive coordinator even believed in running the ball. It's almost like Lincoln Riley at USC. He has no attention. He pays no attention to the defense. He puts all of his effort into the offensive side of the ball and abandons the defense. And you can tell, while most of his teams that he's coached, the defense has been horrible. It's been atrocious. You know? And he's carrying that on into USC. Defense is atrocious. Not because he can't coach defense, he doesn't care for it. I don't think that running the ball is something difficult for Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator for Colorado, to think up. I don't think that's the problem with him. I think the major issue with him is that he doesn't want to run the ball. He wants to continue to pass. So he's doing things for himself. And when you are a part of a team, you cannot have selfish motives. And that's the fracture that we see happening in Colorado football right now. That Sean Lewis has his own personal agenda, and his agenda does not mesh with what Coach Prime wants. And I believe that after this year, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. He has to go. He is going to be gone. He's going to be gone. All right. That's all I have for today. All right. Take care. Bye.